Mr. Pan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to have this opportunity to talk to you on this very important topic. I represent MIC from the Triple I. In my institute, the MIC, we have done some studies and analysis about AI PC ecosystem and its development. Here, I would like to share with you some of our observations and insights. My most important task today is to control the timing very well. Also, this is a very important introductory session because we are honored to have with us the presence of many tech world leaders who will share with us their actual practices and current development in AI PC capabilities and products. So I think the speakers following me will give you a lot of incredible information from the industry. In my presentation today, I will touch upon AI PC market prospect, and I will also talk about the changes and revolutions to AI. As we have heard from Chairman Pan, AI PC will become a very important vehicle for us to introduce more AI applications and revolutions. I would like to still, first of all, begin with an introduction of these different waves of AI development. AI, artificial intelligence as a topic, is not new. It started many years ago. It started as early as the 1950s to the 1960s, and then the second wave of development in the 1980s and 1990s, where expert systems were developed. And right now, we have large language models and generative AI that is ready to be used. In my institute, we collect a lot of information about research, about industry practices, and a lot of policymakers consult us, including Director General Liu from MODA. We also have industry friends who will consult us. A lot of people ask me, is AI PC another bubble? At MIC and also other research institutes, we have been discussing this topic as well. If you look at the development curve of AI starting from the 1940s or 50s, you could see there have been ups and downs. So will AI PC be another ups and downs that we observe in this long history of AI development? Well, our conclusion is that the development of AI will continue to climb and thrive. It is very different from what we have observed in the past, where after each peak, there is a downward slope. Because if we look at AI development right now from a data perspective, we are looking at something very different. We can also see that all the necessary components of AI acceleration are ready. So in terms of the support from computing power, in terms of the development and progress of different models and algorithms, we can see that they are maturing. In addition to that, during the past couple of months, we can see many AI applications really taking off. They are at the, for example, consumer side already as well. For example, I'm sure many of you use ChatGPT on a daily basis. Maybe some of you, it's just for fun, but there are also some other commercial grade applications of AI. I have kids. They're in high school. High school kids have a lot of assignments and homeworks, but they also see some classes at school being useless. No offense to our Ministry of Education, but there are some classes where students just don't feel interested in, and they don't want to spend time in finishing the homework for these classes. So right now they use ChatGPT to write homework for them. And their teachers know that these homeworks are written by ChatGPT. So high school students are already using ChatGPT on a daily basis, not to mention people in other walks of life. So AI applications are now in industry use, in commercial use cases, and in everyday life. So no matter which field or industry you work in, there's more opportunity for you to use AI in whatever you do. So starting from internal model development to product development and product delivery, you can see more and more opportunities for AI to play a role. So be it generative AI or other forms of AI, we are starting to see them everywhere. We can see some names of the companies of our speakers today, so later on you can hear firsthand from them about their solutions. So now we have AI everywhere, in every corner of our life, and we can also see AI for all. There are more and more possibilities or different ways for humans to connect with AI. So you connect with the AI in your cars, in your house, and in other areas. I bought my car before the pandemic, and already back at that time, there were some advanced computing that's being used in the car. And now we begin to see that, for example, drivers can use their hand gestures to talk to their cars. This is another example of AI application. Today, our topic is AI PC. With AI PC, AI will intrude further into our jobs, our everyday life. Right now, a lot of AI applications are run on the cloud. If we cannot run them on our local devices, AI would not be as useful as we want it to be. So that is why we are welcoming this next wave of AI development, and that is AI PC. We, of course, have some statistics and data about our forecast about AI PC. At III, we have collected different versions of definitions about AI PC. For us, a PC with local AI inference capability, with hardwares or components that's dedicated to AI inference on device, we would regard it as an AI PC. So from this perspective, based on this definition, I think in the short run, we would not see AI PC becoming the mainstream of the PC market. At the beginning of this year, CES was organized in the United States, and then very soon we are going to welcome COMPUTEX. And in these exhibitions, we see new products being announced, new AI PC products being announced. But in the next 12 to 18 months, we will see even more product options in AI PC. Our estimation is that about 15 to 16% this year, and then by 2025, 2026, there will be 30 to 40% of PCs that will be AI PC in the market. So that is our estimation so far. These AI PCs or AI edge devices will be able to be used in different scenarios and provide different experiences. For example, in commercial markets, AI PCs will start to replace existing PCs. With these AI PCs, they will introduce a lot of value-added services. For example, a lot of operating system developers are providing generative AI applications. They will allow AI PCs to be able to run large language models as well. In creators market, in the gaming market, AI PC will also play important roles. In the past, creators choose PCs with higher specs, with higher capacities and computing powers. And in the future, these PCs used by the creators will be equipped with even higher AI capabilities. In the general consumer device market, we will also see AI PC taking a significant role. So AI PC will play different roles and provide different experiences in different use scenarios. PCs have become a critical partner for our everyday life and for our work. But we also have to be honest. People often ignore the importance of PCs. In the past, for people who are in my age, if we forgot to bring a PC, we will find it very terrifying. We have forgot something very important. But today, it's different. Today, we're not worried about forgetting to bring our PC, but we are worried about forgetting to bring our smartphone or a cell phone. But I think with the arrival of AI PC, there will be a possibility that PCs will resume its importance in our everyday life. Of course, this is still a question that remains to be answered. However, if in the future we still confine the use of PCs to, for example, accessing Microsoft Word, then I think the PCs would not resume its level of importance in our everyday life. However, if in the future, when we turn on our PC, our AI PC, we will, at the same time, launch our personal assistant who will tell me what's my schedule today, what are some of the things that I have to do today, then PC will become really important for us. But in order to enable such kind of AI PC, we need all levels of the supply chain to work together to create that capacity. So, for example, from the chip level, to the platform level, to the models, to the applications, to the end-use devices. All of the suppliers in these different levels of the supply chain need to work together to enable that kind of capacity. We cannot rely only on, for example, the software developers or the hardware developers to make it happen. So I think I will use the limited amount of time I have to share with you some of the ecosystem changes that we can expect in AI PC. First of all, chip makers. The chip makers are now working hard to launch NPU products or also add additional capacities to existing chip structures in order to work with the AI PCs. Of course, we are going to hear firsthand from chip makers later on, so I will not go into details here. But we can expect that from the second half of this year all the way to 2025, 2026, if we look at the chip makers' product roadmap, you can see they are accelerating the development and the launch of NPUs or other chips that can enable AI PCs. And it's not just x86 systems. We can also see ARM systems playing critical roles in providing these new chips. Operating system providers. So this is at the platform level. Be it Microsoft, Google, or Apple, they are incorporating more and more AI applications in their operating system. So in their updates, they will incorporate new AI applications. For example, Microsoft Copilot, it will become official in all Windows 11 systems. And these operating systems, of course, need to be supported by the chips in order to include or incorporate these AI capabilities. We would like to now move on to model model developers. A lot of people would be questioning, do I really need to use AI PC? Do I really need to use AI PC to train my own model? Of course, it's still going to be consuming a lot of resources if you want to train your own model locally. So you probably still need to resort to cloud-based services and resources. However, in certain industries, for example, the medical world, there are some sensitive data that probably cannot be sent to the cloud because of concerns in privacy and data protection. So in the future, what we can expect is that there will be some applications that will still be web-based or cloud-based, but there will also be applications that is very specific to a certain scenario or a certain use case. They probably, because of other concerns such as data protection and privacy, they will be operated locally or on device. With these models being trained locally and then being put in actual use, this is when the compute power doesn't need to be that large, because when it's put to real use, it's only for AI inferencing. So it doesn't really need such a huge computing power such as that in the training stage. So for video generation, image generation, text generation, coding, and programming, I think in these areas we're going to see the collaboration between cloud-based and local AI models. So there will be different collaborations, different distribution of responsibilities or tasks between cloud-based and local AI models. Right now, we are also seeing a thriving, model development because of the open source principle. So more and more suppliers and developers can come into the markets with the open source model. We are able to see in many communities, people are launching different AI models or applications that can be incorporated into the existing supply chain. Now, moving on to the end-user devices or edge devices, the AI PCs that we are talking about today. In the short run, we can see that there will be a wave of hardware upgrades. For example, it's multimedia components, improvement in computing power, in heat dissipation module, and etc. These hardware upgrades will come in, and this will also help push up the ASP for component providers. Now moving on to OEMs. These PC OEMs will need to differentiate their AI PCs to attract consumers. And the key to this differentiation is to provide a seamless environment where the users can interface with these AI applications. So PC OEMs are now scratching their head and trying their best to create their own unique advantage in the AI PC experience they can offer. And I'm sure that you will get to experience many of them in this year's COMPUTEX. All in all, AI PC is bringing us a lot of new imaginations. A lot of hardware upgrades is going to happen. A lot of ODMs are starting to offer subsystems, and we will see AI applications entering into all corners of our life. And these applications will need to be supported by all the players across the supply chain. In this process, OEM companies need to try to find the differentiation unique to their products. We are very happy to see that TCA organized this forum today, and I'm sure that in today's forum, we are going to discover more about the upcoming AI PC era. At III, we are your partner in research and development, in ecosystem build-up, in providing industry analysis and insights. So we look forward to working with you in the future in welcoming the AI PC era and create a healthy AI PC ecosystem. So this concludes my introductory session here. Looking forward to networking and exchanging ideas with you later. Thank you.